The ancient stone tablet cracked under Dr. Maya Patel's fingers as she traced the weathered symbols, her breath fogging in the cold air of the Martian excavation site. The assembled Zephyrian archaeologists chittered with amusement, their crystalline forms casting prismatic patterns across the dig site's artificial lighting. What they didn't know was that Maya had been studying these symbols for 3 years, and she was about to shatter everything they thought they knew about their own history. The dead language of the first ones was about to speak again through human lips. The discovery of the ruins beneath Mars' southern polar cap had sent shockwaves through the galactic archaeological community. The Zephyrians, with their superior technology and millennia of space exploration, had claimed immediate authority over the site. They possessed the most advanced translation algorithms in known space, quantum computers that could decode any language within hours. Humanity, barely a century into space travel, was relegated to manual labor and sample collection. Primitive diggers, senior archaeologist Kethval, had declared when the human team arrived. Perhaps they can carry our equipment while we uncover the mysteries of the first ones. The Zephyrians had been searching for traces of the first ones for over 10,000 years. Legend spoke of an ancient civilization that had once ruled the galaxy before vanishing without explanation. Their technology was said to surpass even modern Zephyrian achievements, and their knowledge could revolutionize understanding of the universe itself. Dr. Maya Patel led the small human contingent with quiet determination. Her team consisted of linguist Dr. James Reeves, xenoarchaeologist Dr. Sarah Kim, and cultural anthropologist Dr. Alex Torres. While the Zephyrians deployed their quantum scanners and holographic mapping systems, the humans worked with simple tools, brushes, and cameras. Patience carves deeper than power, Maya muttered to herself as she carefully documented each symbol by hand, a practice the Zephyrians found laughably primitive. "Why do you waste time with manual transcription?" Kethval asked, his translator rendering his harmonic speech into crisp English. "Our quantum decoders have already cataloged every symbol in this chamber. Sometimes the slowest path reveals what speed overlooks," Maya replied, not looking up from her work. The Zephyrians had indeed cataloged everything, but their advanced algorithms kept producing the same result. The symbols were too ancient, too degraded, too alien for translation. Their quantum computers, designed to process known galactic languages, found no reference points in their vast databases. "The language of the first ones remains beyond comprehension," announced lead researcher Velnara during the daily briefing. "Even our most sophisticated systems cannot penetrate these primitive markings." "Perhaps that's because you're looking for complexity in simplicity," Dr. Reeves suggested quietly. The Zephyrian delegation exchanged what Maya had learned to recognize as dismissive harmonics. "Human linguistics are barely adequate for your own species' communication," Kethval replied. "How could you possibly succeed where our quantum systems have failed?" But Maya had noticed something the quantum computers missed. The symbols weren't random markings or complex ideograms. They followed patterns she recognized from ancient human languages, patterns that suggested a connection far deeper than anyone imagined. "Every civilization leaves fingerprints in its language," she explained to her team during their private evening meeting. "Grammar structures, phonetic preferences, even the way thoughts are organized. These symbols, they feel familiar." Dr. Kim looked up from her analysis of the temple's construction. "The architectural patterns match no known Zephyrian style, but they do resemble some ancient Earth structures. The mathematical proportions, the use of sacred geometry." "Impossible," Dr. Torres said, though his voice carried uncertainty. "The first ones predate human civilization by millions of years." Maya spent her nights studying the symbols while the Zephyrians recharged their crystalline bodies. She noticed that the markings seemed to follow a pattern similar to proto-human linguistic structures, but older, more refined. It was as if someone had taken the fundamental building blocks of human communication and elevated them to their purest form. On the 7th day of excavation, Maya made a breakthrough. The central chamber contained what appeared to be a ceremonial altar covered in intricate carvings. While the Zephyrians focused their quantum scanners on the peripheral decorations, Maya studied the main inscription. "It's not a language," she whispered to Dr. Reeves. "It's a song. A song. Look at the rhythm patterns, the way the symbols flow. This isn't meant to be read, it's meant to be spoken. Sung, actually." The Zephyrians overheard her theory, and their laughter filled the chamber like broken crystal. "The humans believed the first ones were musicians," Velnara announced to the assembly. Perhaps next they will claim these ancient beings enjoyed human recreational activities. Songs are how memories survive when civilizations fall, Maya said firmly. Music carries truth across time when written words fade. That evening, alone in the central chamber, Maya began to piece together the phonetic structure of the symbols. If her theory was correct, the markings represented not just words but musical notation as well. She started to hum softly, letting the ancient rhythm guide her voice. The effect was immediate and terrifying. The chamber began to glow with a soft, pulsing light that emanated from the symbols themselves. Ancient systems, dormant for eons, began to activate as Maya's voice found the correct harmonic frequencies. Dr. Reeves found her there an hour later, still singing, tears streaming down her face as the full meaning of the inscription became clear. "Maya, what's happening? The whole site is lighting up." "James," she whispered, her voice hoarse but filled with wonder. "The first ones, they didn't disappear. They evolved. They became something beyond physical form, but they left instructions. A song to bridge the gap between what they were and what they became." The Zephyrians arrived in panic, their equipment registering energy signatures that shouldn't have been possible. Kethval burst into the chamber, his crystalline form flickering with agitation. "What have you done, human?" "Our systems are detecting massive power fluctuations throughout the complex." Maya stood before the now glowing altar, the ancient song still echoing in the chamber's acoustics. "I spoke their language," she said simply. "The language they left for whoever would be wise enough to listen." "Impossible." Our quantum computers analyzed every possible linguistic combination. No pattern exists that could decode these symbols. "Your computers looked for complexity," Dr. Reeves interjected, now understanding Maya's discovery. "But the first ones chose simplicity. They chose the universal language that exists in every sentient species." Maya nodded. "Music, rhythm, the mathematical harmony that underlies all communication. They didn't write in symbols, they wrote in songs. And the song, it's a message." Velnara stepped forward, her earlier dismissiveness replaced by desperate curiosity. "What message?" Maya's voice carried a weight that seemed to age her years in moments. "They're still here. The first ones transcended physical existence eons ago, but they've been waiting for a species young enough to remember how to listen with their hearts instead of their machines." The chamber's glow intensified, and suddenly the air filled with harmonics that no technology could produce. The Zephyrians' crystalline forms resonated with the sound, creating a symphony that spoke directly to consciousness itself. "The song contains everything," Maya continued, her voice blending with the ancient harmonics. "The history of the universe, the nature of consciousness, the path to transcendence. But it can only be understood by those who approach it without arrogance, without the assumption that complexity equals wisdom." Kethval's form dimmed as the implications struck him. "You mean to say that we, with all our advanced technology, failed because we were too sophisticated? Sometimes the most advanced minds are the ones most trapped by their own advancement," Maya replied gently. "The first ones chose a simple key because only the humble would try it." As the song reached its crescendo, the chamber filled with presence that was both ancient and immediate. The first ones had indeed left the galaxy, but they had never truly departed. They had been waiting for a species that could bridge the gap between primitive instinct and transcendent wisdom. The Zephyrians stood in stunned silence as the full weight of the revelation settled over them. Humanity, the species they had dismissed as barely civilized, had accomplished what their greatest minds could not. "What happens now?" Velnara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Maya smiled, the ancient song still resonating through her being. "Now we listen, all of us together." The first ones left this message for whoever would be ready to receive it, regardless of species or technology level. As the various alien delegations arrived to witness the phenomenon, Maya began teaching them the song. Each species added their own harmonic resonance to the ancient melody, creating something new while honoring something infinitely old. "Truth doesn't require sophistication," Maya said as representatives from across the galaxy joined their voices together. "It only requires the wisdom to listen." In the days that followed, the ruins became a pilgrimage site where beings from across the galaxy came to learn the song of the first ones. The Zephyrians, humbled by their oversight, worked alongside humans as equals for the first time. "We thought knowledge was about having all the answers," Kefal admitted to Maya as they stood together in the now sacred chamber. "But perhaps it's about asking the right questions." Maya nodded, watching as another group of young beings from various species learned to sing the ancient words. The greatest discoveries often come from the smallest voices.